Hi, I'm Kawa, and this is QWA Podcast. In this show, we invite friends from the architectural fraternity for a casual conversation. From design think tank to integrated practice, we discuss the trials and tribulations of architectural pursuit. We hope this informal sharing will spark conversation among the listeners. Let's begin. Hello, everyone. Here with me today we have Megat. I think for whom that does not know him, he's a former studio mate back in UiTM days, and I think he's one of the earliest studio mate that I met. I think you and Ayub, if not mistaken. And after we finished our Bachelor of Science, I think Megat went to Aussie, and occasionally we meet along the RNR southbound because I think we have a project in JB. And today, I think we want to talk about your experience working as an expatriate in Singapore. So maybe Megat, you can introduce yourself. Where do you practice, and what is your role in the office?
Thanks, Kawa. So before we begin, I would like to say first and foremost, thank you for giving me this opportunity, me to be part of your second podcast, and it's very cool, And I've listened to your first podcast, and it's good that what you're trying to portray to the public, expose architecture to public, and keep up the good works,
Thank you so much.
So like I said, we've known since the beginning of this industry, right? I mean, back in Perindu College, UiTM. I still remember when you showed me your AutoCAD drawings about your stadium. Is that correct, right? And then
I would.
I think so. And then you told us like you were born to be an architect, and then you have this like trademark. You already have your brand back then, and it's called Faulkner Hisham, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we try to. I mean,
but
finding identity is a difficult journey, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good start, and funny that this happened 13 years ago, and you never changed ever since that. So, memang kebaik lah. Okay, so about myself, my name is Megat Aiman. I'm currently working and living in Singapore, and I have a family back in KL. So I'm working in this service provider company that provides services in architecture, structural, M&E. So it's a 2-year contract, and they provided me with BIM software training like Bentley Product and Autodesk. And then after I finish that in-house training, then I will jump to companies wherever they need me. So in my case, architectural drafting or modeling. So I don't stick to one company, and I will jump to another within that 2-year period. And currently, I'm attached to this main contractor company. They are handling healthcare project called Woodland Health Campus. So currently, I'm based in site office. It is probably due to end by 2022. Depends on this pandemic because at the moment we cannot proceed site works. And I'm part of their in-house BIM team. Specifically focusing on producing room book drawings, and as known as shop drawings. So that's basically about my current state here.
Great. I think you missed one thing when you introduce yourself. I mean, you are an obvious Liverpool fan. Looking through your Facebook with all the Liverpool related posts, and congratulations. I mean, Liverpool for winning the APL. I think yesterday, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Pagi tadi lah. And it was 30 years of long wait lah. So it was just a nice time lah. Friday night weekend. Right?
Exactly. I mean, it's a momentous occasion, definitely. But last time when we met in Malaysia, I think if I'm not mistaken, you and Ayub were talking about taking the architects board examination, and I was under the impression that you're going to pursue it here, but suddenly you went abroad. So what is the motivation and incentive that resulted to that move, if you don't mind sharing?
Well, put it this way, I think it's about having the dilemma or struggles of this profession by itself. But I mean, I'm no different than the rest. I mean, we all face this kind of struggles when we part of this industry, and you know that we are part of the professionals. And I think for me, wages the financial wise has been the downside of this path. So and I think it's about making the big decision lah about pursuing my career path. So, like you said, yeah, I mean, I already pursued my part 3 journey lah. I mean, aku dah pergi kelas semua. I even went in class with you. But then I thought the priority, what is the priority? I mean, I'm married, I have a family, right? So I thought that maybe we can postpone that or maybe stop first and pursue my career first. And then, so if we go way back, I've been working in a consultant firms in KL, and most of it are small or medium-sized company.
Correct.
So at that moment, of course, we have our own preferences, like whether going to big companies or for good CV, right? Or smaller companies for not so known in CV, but exposure-wise, you get to do all of those stages what architect does lah in practice.
Right.
So at that time, for me, I chose the second one, which going for smaller companies to get to do all of those stuff. But honestly, it has not been an easy ride financially lah. So the motivation and incentives for me is probably testing myself in the slightly different environment, and also following my dream of working in a multi-diverse company.
Right.
And so apart from the currency rate, Singapore,
of course,
yeah. So why not? And then, and back in KL, aku rasa I never really gotten a chance to work or miss to work in the diverse practice. And also, it's kind of hard for me getting into bigger companies due to the fact that I've been working in a small medium practice. So in terms of my project wise or scale wise, it doesn't really being accepted lah to go to that companies in KL. Yeah. So the event that led me going abroad is basically due to my recent projects in JB. If I think kau pun tahu kan, because we've met in the R&R JB out of nowhere, tiba kan pagi-pagi subuh tu.
Exactly.
So I've been doing. I mean, my last previous project in KL was handling this aquatic center in JB Lakin. So I mean, I've been going there, flying back and forth, and I mean, it got me thinking lah. What was it like to actually working in a neighboring country? And at that moment, I never knew I would actually going to work there until something happened lah.
So I mean, those travels really make you think. I mean, the thing that I hate the most about this consultancy work is actually traveling, because you're gonna have like few hours of meeting and then a tremendous amount of time traveling. So that trigger, what actually is your biggest motivation to actually make the jump?
Okay, for me, the ultimate trigger has got to do with past events lah. I would say in this case, aku bagi 3 events lah.
Okay.
So the first event, I think this came back in 2015 when I just finished my part 2 and balik Malaysia. So I got this offer to work in this international healthcare company that was based in PJ, I think. So, and I think I remember talking to you sometime in Masjid TTDI, if I'm not mistaken. Right, you were there too. I mean, we went to pay respect to our arwah lecturer you at Encik Anis kan?
Yes.
So I think I talked to you about it, and then you said, why don't you, I should go for it. But at that time, I was already attached to this local firm, and it kind of struck me lah, because it was already too late for me. So that's about the first part lah. I missed that offer, the first event. And then the second event, I would say, it has something to do with the struggles of getting applying to the bigger companies. Yes, that is our arwah Anis. He's also my lecturer in BB Boys.
Right.
Masih sekolah mendengar.
Oh, ya ke? Okay.
Itulah.
That's one thing. Kita tak tahu.
Alright. So back to my second event. It's kind of hard for me getting into the bigger companies, And then when I got this offer to interview to one of these recognized prominent architectural firm in KL Central, then I was quite happy lah, because this happened in early 2019 when all this retrenchment period already started, and then most medium-sized firms are already implemented pay cuts.
Downsizing,
very downsizing lah. It's a very tough time lah for us. So when I got the interview invitation, I went to meet the director, and of course I was quite happy because I finally get to be interviewed. I mean, the opportunity to be interviewed by this big firm.
Right.
So, and then surprisingly, it was really a bad start lah, from start to finish, I would say, because the director just look at my profile, and then he said to me, I'm not capable of be part of them due to my small scale project wise, and then they start to question my credibility of doing bigger projects, and some other degrading factors. So and then also my current company at that time has already implemented 20% pay cut. So after two and a half years serving with them, so I thought I couldn't wait any longer, and I just had to move on. And then the third event is the final event is about the conclusion of the first and second. I would say, to make it interesting, it's about answering to the first and second event, which is taking the opportunity again and proving them wrong, that the companies that rejected me.
Right.
So the motivation is then it was a tough decision family wise, because I need to talk to my wife and my family about it. They were quite skeptical at first, but I guess it's for my own good and so I've been blessed with my wife and family. So we've been living a long distance relationship for now, and so
how long now?
I started exactly 1 year ago. I think
1 year ago. All right.
I started May 2019 until now Seeing about 1 year plus one and a half
Yeah. So I would say that that is the thing that struck me. I mean, I really admire your taking the leap of chance, or sort of going abroad, especially when you have a very young daughter. I think I'm not so sure, 3 years old right now, or
at the moment she's 3. This Christmas she'll be 4.
Time
flies, man.
So when you went abroad, she was 3, and but I'm sure there is some upside to it, exposure, experience. I'm sure this is not sort of like ad hoc decision. I'm sure you have planned this. So are you thinking of eventually stay there with your bringing your whole family there, or you are thinking coming back after your contract ended?
At the time being, it's about staying in Singapore, finish my 2-year contract first. Because and then after I finish the 2 year, I would probably pursuing still working in Singapore.
Right.
And then probably bring my family migrate JB . I mean, that's the I would say the current plan . Because financial wise, I mean, the cost, the cost of living in Singapore is quite high, right? So it's quite hard. But again, my recent upgraded employment pass also allow me to bring my spouse here, and she can also work only to limited industry. So we don't really fully neglect that option, but few factors to consider . I mean, about raising our child and also financial wise .
Right.
So only time will tell .
Yeah, there's 11 more months to think about that. Definitely. But needless to say, I mean, COVID-19, this very unprecedented outbreak has altered the way we live our life. And of course, it is also implies to travel restriction. Especially during this recent Eid celebration, it must be tough, being 3 months without visiting them. So how do you, cope with that challenge?
Well, I mean, put aside pandemic ni pun, long distance relationship itself is already tough .
Right, correct.
So when this pandemic happened, it worsens the current scenarios . And I mean, the last time I went back is early March, so that was before the PKP started . And so when the circuit breaker started in Singapore, I've been working from home for the past 3.5 months ni. So dah 3 bulan lebih I haven't went home yet. So it is really painful to be honest, and I've had my breakdowns emotionally. Nangis kat tepi bucu kata.
Understandable, yeah.
I mean, but thanks to the technology nowadays I mean, we get to FaceTime every day, but still for me it's not enough .
It's not the same obviously. Yes, yeah.
Obviously. And then for me is another thing is another challenge is about not knowing when can I go home . I mean, applies to most Malaysians because most employers macam my company dia tak bagi aku balik lagi because they're afraid that our work pass might be revoked. And then the complications of going to Malaysia
reapply.
Yeah, and then the 14 days quarantine, then we need to pay the heck amount of money. So it's unprecedented lah. So for now, I'm just waiting for the right time for both countries to sort out this issue about this daily commuting JB Singaporean, and so about 300 to 400,000 daily commuting Malaysians. So that issue has not been resolved. Like, at the moment, there are still discussions, but until when, I don't know. But I'm just waiting for the right time to go home now, when it's finally safe lah.
Yeah, I think we wish that. I think they are sorting out. I mean, the Malaysian and Singaporean government are sorting out. Hopefully, they will come to an agreement soon. I think it's similar to my sister-in-law working in Singapore Airlines. She decided to just come Malaysia, Rambo. I mean, there's no flight anyway, so no point in staying in Singapore. So she just came back. Yeah, but I think from my experience lah, a lot of my students from tailors eventually do apply and work in Singapore because they think it's a new land, it's a great new environment, it's adventurous. So do you see any contrast in terms of work ethic or maybe intensity and expectation working both in Malaysia and Singapore?
Well, in my case lah, I mean, back in KL, I've been working in this Malay-based practice lah, and there are some good things and not so good things, experiences lah that I had encountered personally. So in terms of working, it's pretty much the same as what we do. But I guess position-wise, I'm no longer the architect that I used to be lah back in KL, because I know I handle project, meeting and such. So so I had to lower my ground a bit. And then the other major difference, I would say, back in KL we were quite laid back and comfortable lah, I think. And work ethic, it's more systematic and organized, because due to the fact that the company that I joined is quite big, and they have their own system.
Right.
And intensity-wise, it's very much fast-paced, I would say. And expectations are high lah, because due to the fact that I'm working in a service provider, and these client companies, they paid us much higher than the normal employee. So when they hire you, they expect you to deliver well and to have a convincing outcome lah. So for me, it was not an easy first few months for me, like adapting to the current environment. But then, having worked multiple years in the profession back in KL had equipped me well with coping with the struggles. So it's not really a surprise, because generally we Asians are really hardworking. I mean, back in my study in Aussie juga lah. I mean, your ATM days, we always do like quantity is a must. It's part of the requirement. It's not so much on the quality wise. So I remember in Aussie, and when my first year there, the first assignment, because I was really working hard lah. I produced a lot of stuff lah in my board, and then my peers semua macam tengok, didn't you had, because that one during a break lah. So they were like quite shocked when they see my board, and they were just, I would say, lazy, but really, brain wise, they don't focus so much on the quantity, but more quality wise in terms of your ideas and thinking lah. So that's one thing that I learned in my study in Adelaide lah that time. So quantity is not important, but the quality of your thinking, not so much on the amount of stuff that you need to prove that you show that you've done this a lot, but you just have to put some 1-2 that is already enough, as long as you already captured the essence of what you're already showing lah. So another thing to note about working in Singapore and KL is about productivity lah. They really macam focus on your daily work progress. So your 8 hours progress too, you need to deliver lah. You need to achieve what you want to do on that day, because they will be they'll be recorded lah. So that, I think, is one major thing, the major contrast working in KL in here, and there's no time wasting lah.
Yeah, definitely. So out of those experience, which moment is the best? I mean, I'm sure out of that 1 year, there must be something memorable. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean surprisingly, because I've only been here like one year plus, kan. So, and then I would say the most rewarding moment for me here it's getting employed to one of these top 100 architect firms in the world, lah.
Right.
Number 58 to be exact. So this company is Broadway Malian. So it was only for a short stint, about 4 months. So due to my role as a service provider, but I was blessed lah to be part of this team. And then it was pretty much like a family punya setup, and there are so many nationalities involved, from UK, Mexicans, Portuguese, Indonesians. Surprisingly banyak Indonesians in the Singapore punya studio, and one Malaysian lah, which is me. So it was really an eye-opening lah, and they were sharing studio sessions between other studios as well. Like in my case, during my stint there, they had these 2 studio session talking about their own studio recent projects, competitions that they already joined. So at that time, we had one session from UK studio and also Lisbon studio. So I was really enjoyed lah, and feel blessed to be part of that family. And then the bosses are really humane lah, I would say. And they regard you as someone on par, someone level. Macam there's no position, everyone is the same, even though
they don't look down on you lah. Understood.
Yeah. It's very healthy environment, and also the literal environment itself, the way I work. Then the one thing that I like is the natural lighting, like because the building is at Beach Road, Gateway East Beach Road in Singapore, and the environment is natural lighting is a must. Like everywhere is natural lighting. Because back in KL, I would say most of the practice are very unhealthy in terms of the
shop lot, kan?
Shop lot, and then natural lighting though. Natural lighting tak ada.
Untuk bilik bos je.
Yes, it's really, I would say, not really a good environment lah to be working with. I mean, dia punya vibe also dah bagi you that negativity. So how can you have a healthy, work punya environment and when you start work? So, and then surprisingly, there were a lot of Indonesians though, and aku macam surprised lah. Yeah, in the Singapore studio. And
but foreign trained or Indonesian trained?
I think my ex colleague too, they were local trained, tapi they are pretty much like they know how to up themselves lah, in terms of their profiles, their CVs, kan. And then even the team that I work with, in this company, I joined the ID team due to the fact that architecture team was not needed at that time. So the person that interviewed me was an Indonesian, my ID team leader lah. So I'm quite embarrassed to see how these Indonesians are. They are really brave and confident enough to make that big jump lah, to go beyond this compared to us Malaysians lah. Pada aku macam, as Malaysian, I kind of felt embarrassed because we were a bit, I would say, pemalu. Too comfortable and a bit shy, and they kind of afraid to make that big step due to the fact that priority, what's there for? I mean, aku dah sedap kat sini, where would I go there? And so it goes back to your own choices lah in life. So so the interview going there also, it's not easy lah, I would say. And at the moment when I went to the interview, it had like 3 stages. So the first one was this CAT test. It's quite a tricky test. I mean, they want to know how versed I am with the software. I mean, a bit, I would say, okay lah, I can do it lah. But then my at that time my manager brought me there. So she told me that this company really chooses the right people to work with because they are
very picky.
Really very picky. They want people that has the same, I would say, principle as them. They are very people-oriented person. So macam they really choose the kind of people that they want lah. They feel that they have that sort of chemistry with them. I don't know lah. So a lot of applicants had already been sent out. I mean, my manager said, but tak banyak yang got accepted.
Yeah.
Very few, 1 or 2 je. But it was a very long time lah during my time there. So the first stage was this CAT test, and surprisingly, I had to do like this. They gave me like a plan of the shop drawing. They just told me to draw the sections, just rough section what you saw. So aku just tarik section tu tangga, tunjuk apa yang aku nampak. It's very straightforward punya ni. 30-minute time limit lah. And then the second stage, I had this interview with the ID team leader, the one that I told you, the Indonesian lady. So that one is quite straightforward. It's just like a sharing session about my past works of doing ID. So I showed her some of my ID works. So it's just more about what's my profile lah. So tunjuk okay lah. I think she's quite okay with what I presented in terms of my ID stuff. And then the third one is doing with the HR punya manager. So she was she's quite a nice person. She's a very nice person. And then this one I would say a lot of people macam this is the ultimate macam because my friend also went to this interview, and I mean this one they want to know, are you a genuine people or are you a fake people lah? So
right.
So at that time, she just wanted to unpack my views and my perspective of architecture, my passion, my inspiration. So aku just goreng lah. I mean, on the spot, aku just cakap about my thought. They just want to know how I think about architecture lah. So for me, it's macam makanan aku lah. It's quite an easy thing to say about architectural thought, about what's your principle. They just want to know lah what's your direction in this profession. So after that, it went good lah for me. Aku rasa, I mean, it went okay. And then we went back in the taxi, and then my manager was really impressed with me because because during the whole interview she was sitting next to me. You know, the pressure was there.
Yeah.
So macam tak boleh ke aku nak one-to-one je kan. Yeah. So in the taxi she told me that how impressed she was with me, blah blah blah. And then she had a call. And then the HR manager called and told her that they wanted me straight away. So I need to work with them like the next day, like literally next day.
So is this the team you are assigned to now? Or
yeah. No.
You move on from that ID job. Yeah. All right. Okay.
So yeah.
Great. I think for any new budding architects thinking of going abroad, maybe Singapore, maybe they would thinking of getting a placement. Do you think you have an advice for them? Maybe something that you wish you knew early on before you went there?
I would say during my time, because I didn't really apply direct to these companies, because for me I had this one offer and I took it lah, because I wanted to expose myself in Singapore, and this company provided me with not being to one company during this 2-year period, so I get to jump to other companies depending on my services lah, how long they need me. Because in Broadway Lane they only need me initially for 3 months, but then they extended 1 more month due to the workload lah. So if you have the opportunity, just take it lah. You have nothing to lose.
Right.
And then you have to do some research about it, the pros and cons, the sacrifice that you might occur. So macam it's a good thing lah. I mean, if you want to to go beyond to your comfort zone. And another thing that is rewarding for me is working here. So I get to be interviewed by one of these big firms like ADAS. Aku macam tak percaya lah.
Right.
I mean, considering where I came from. So another thing is really an eye-opening lah. And then being Singapore itself, being an international hub lah, I would say to Asian region. So most of these internationals are coming to Singapore. So aku rasa that's one factor that I chose to shift my career here lah.
Yeah,
so when you have the opportunity, just go for it lah, I would say.
Yeah, I think for any young architects are thinking there's more opportunity across the pond, I think is very commendable for them to actually try. Okay, thank you, Megat. I think that's it for this episode.
Thank you,
and
thank you so much.
To the listeners, thank you for joining us until the next one. Okay, take care. Bye.
Bye, thanks.
If you enjoyed the session, be sure to subscribe to QWA YouTube channel so you will be notified if a new episode is posted. Thank you for listening.
Until next time.